of some of the business models, right? I mean, when you talk about artificial intelligence businesses, it's about SaaS, yeah. Do you see some trends in terms of SaaS? Is that industry getting stronger? Is it growing, especially in the new normal? What do you see happening in there?
Yeah, everything is becoming a software as a service more and more. But this is also a big problem for IT companies that live off of implementing large corporations' solutions. So that's also a little bit why we go into the digital assistant business, is to provide a new layer of IP to IT companies that don't have IP at the present time. So let's say you are an implementator for a corporation like SAP, Oracle, ServiceNow, and you make money implementing those solutions for your clients. Most likely you are getting paid by the amount of time implementing those solutions. With the SaaS getting better and better and more sophisticated, you got less work to do, because obviously, the executives or the workers and within the client's space, they could actually do some of those implementations on their own. And the large software companies are providing better and better service and more streamlined ways of implementing that. So you as an implementation company, you might have less business going forward. So there is a plus for the client, lower cost, easier to access, but there is a large number of IT companies that will not really be competitive because they didn't build any IP. Now, with AI, you can actually build IP in the way that you actually communicate. It's a little bit like the concept of the pilot fish next to the big shark, right? The pilot fish is a small little fish that eventually is a chatbot that will allow you to study better the behavior and the health of the shark itself without poking the big shark, right? And that's a little bit what the AI does. Then eventually the AI becomes so important and so relevant that people will forget that they are communicating with an SAP, Oracle, Salesforce solution. They're just communicating with a chatbot. Like if I'm WhatsApping you, or anybody else, I'm using that interface on WhatsApp that allows me to reach all those informations, right? And eventually there are different features, right? So maybe the AI I'm using to communicate with the HR department has the feature to learn off of my questions and improve the HR knowledge base, something that wouldn't happen otherwise. Yes, you still use a SuccessFactors Workday to access the information, but do they have a learning process? No, they don't. And if they do, they will be only for that type of platform. So the implementation company who has been delivering SaaS solutions up to now, today has the opportunity to build its own intellectual property. Because every time you build a chatbot, a conversation flow, every time you build a new KPI of this conversation flow, you build a certain level of intellectual property that allows you to replicate. So both of you and I are from Florence, okay? So what I'm very proud of is that I built the artificial intelligence of Michelangelo under the supervision and support of the Opera del Duomo of Florence, the Cathedral of Florence.
Wow.
Now, yes, it's a wow, but the reality is that the information was there, but the experts were always using the information the way they looked at it. So I write a book about Michelangelo, I make a documentary, and everything will be written by the expert based on the priority that he or she gives it. Instead, here we used a different approach. We built a chatbot that listens to people's questions, and we bring the questions back to the people, the experts. And obviously, we started with our 60, 70 first basic questions that in-house we decided to train the machine. We gave it a month and a half of training. And then we launched it to a larger group of friends and then a larger group of people until now it's almost public. And we started collecting questions we didn't expect. So that was the part of the machine learning. So what was the most relevant questions to Michelangelo? Sometimes it's his sexual orientations. Sometimes it's what he did with his money after he died. Sometimes it's what did he like to eat or what did he like to wear. Not necessarily how nothing to do much to do with the arts itself, which was a large number of questions, but the innovation was about listening to the questions and creating this new awareness based on the questions, basically changing the knowledge base. It doesn't matter if it's an HR manual for a company or the life of Michelangelo. The questions will change the way that you display or you broadcast your informations.
Wow, this is fantastic.